Welcome everybody to a special edition of AD's Insight. Brandon Vickery with you. It's my great pleasure to be joined by the next Director of Athletics at Valparaiso University, Charles Small, on an exciting day as we have introduced Charles as our next Valpo AD. When you hear me say that, that has to be exciting. Let's go back to the point where you learned the news for the first time. What was your reaction like? How did you receive the news, and just what was that moment like to be the next AD at Valpo?
Wow, I mean, you work so hard to get here, and so when I got that call from President Padilla, it's a little bit of a shock. And when he asked the question of what are you going to be doing for the next 4 or 5 years, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years of your life, I said, I hope I'm helping Valpo get to the next level. And I truly felt that way and really was excited about the opportunity. So for me personally, to work so hard and know that these opportunities don't come that often, it was just a great feeling. So to answer your question, I was a little bit shocked, but then I was just excited and ready to go to work.
You mentioned how hard you worked to get to this point. When did that start? When did it first come into your mind that this was your goal, to be an athletic director? And what can you tell us about the process that you used to get here?
Definitely. So, I have the philosophy that, I want to be present and be the best in my role at that time. And so that's just worked for me over time, doing my job at an elite level, at a championship level. And so over time, as I was growing professionally, what I noticed was my influence was expanding. And so when I started to get into the upper level administration type roles, I'm a learner, so I started to study other athletic directors. I started to study leaders in other organizations. And so then I knew I wanted to be a leader in that space. So naturally the athletic director position kind of came up. But I'm just focused on everyone has a role. And in this job, I have a role which happens to be the Director of Athletics at Valpo.
Let's go back to your younger years and let's talk about your time as a student athlete at Pitt. It had to be influential for you, and it had to mold what you wanted to do going forward in college athletics. What was your student athlete experience like at Pitt?
Oh, it was unbelievable. Our teams competed at a high level. We were in the Big East at the time, and just competed at the highest level athletically in terms of basketball. We had the camaraderie of our teammates. We had great coaching. Jamie Dixon's the head coach at TCU now, but he was there for 3 years, and it pushed me in every aspect as it relates to basketball, just from being the ultimate teammate, being a leader outside of, I was a walk-on, so not playing a lot on the court, but contributing to something greater than me really inspired me. And then there's the academic piece. I had an opportunity to go to a great institution, pursue degrees in education that really helped me to develop as a person and professionally. And then I just really had the support. We had faculty, we had administrators, staff that were truly interested in me and helping me to flourish. And so really it's inspiring, because I come to work every day trying to figure out and motivated to help student athletes and coaches walk through doors of opportunity.
We talked about why you enjoy doing that in collegiate athletics, why you enjoy working with student athletes, but why Valpo specifically? Why is this a fit? What's your why Valpo story?
Yes, Valpo is a special place, and I felt that on the interview. Specifically, when you look at the institution's values, I come from a family of social workers, and I'm all about impact and empowerment. And so when you look at those professional values of dignity and work for the person, impacting society through service, it really aligns with my core values, and how Valpo really focuses on helping students to develop, to be leaders and impact society. So that alignment of values, I think, is really important. I think there's a familiarity with the conference. So Jeff Jackson, who's the commissioner currently in the Missouri Valley Conference, was my liaison with basketball when he was with the Big 12. And so, you have examples of other athletic directors, David Harris being one at Northern Iowa, who was in my role before he went to Northern Iowa. And so those things came together where I thought it would be a really good fit. And then as I started to do research, and you just think about all the great history and proud moments of Valpo athletics, it brings you in, and I want to be a part of that success in the next chapter. And then lastly, President Padilla. When you have leadership and people who recognize athletics playing a role in the student experience, but also in a role in the university getting to the next level, that was very attractive for me.
You talked about some of your network and such an impressive network that you've built and people you've had the opportunity to work with and learn from. What can you tell us about how you'll utilize that as you transition into being an athletic director for the first time?
Definitely. You know, athletics, most industries, but athletics is a relationship business, and I've been fortunate to have just leaders that have played an instrumental role in my development, but they also turn into a great network where you can lean on people. So for example, I have a former teammate that played basketball at Pitt, Marcus Bowman, who's the CFO at Oklahoma. And so, you know, we have that trust. I can lean on him when it comes to business type decisions and budgeting and forecasting budgets and things of that nature. But we also have that relationship where it's just developed over time. There's multiple former athletes that I'll lean on. Jeff Long was the AD at Pitt when I was a student athlete. He also brought me to Arkansas. I worked for Jeff, and you know, Jeff has always been about kind of measuring success and having priorities. And I've used that in my approach, but Jeff has always made it self-accessible, and that's been great. He's always been about student athlete experience. Jamie Pollard, he's been a mentor for me, and just seeing him operate in that space and seeing how he's developed Iowa State University, I think is really important because I know I can lean on him, and he'll be accessible, and that's been great. But Julie Peoples, I can the list goes on and on. Julie Peoples, the AD at Ohio. I worked with her at Arkansas, and so it depends on the topic. I guess I'll lean on those experts in those different areas, but it's all about relationships, and I have that trust, and I know I have a network of people I can lean on.
You talked earlier about the past and the proud tradition of Valpo Athletics. Today is about celebrating the past, the present, and the future. And let's touch on the last aspect of that. What's your vision for what this place can be? What's your vision for Valpo Athletics?
Well, I'm so excited for the future. I think we are going to be able to take it to the next level. And the great part is we're going to define what the next level is. We have new leadership or newer leadership at the university level. I'm coming into this position new, is great energy. But what will guide us are 4 pillars. We're going to have an extraordinary student athlete experience where all 400 Valpo student athletes are compelled to flourish and be the best version of themselves. And we want our coaches and administrators to really surround those student athletes and earn their trust and loyalty. We're going to have an enduring culture, and we'll come and build that together, but we want a lasting, sustainable, enduring culture. We're going to earn trust with our student athletes, but we're going to earn trust with our external stakeholders, and we're going to achieve eminence through a national brand, and we're going to talk about this idea of comprehensive excellence. And so the great part, the fun part, is we're going to build it together, but that's the vision. We'll have extraordinary alignment, and we're going to execute at a high level.
This is also our opportunity to get to know you not only professionally but personally. Tell us about yourself away from your job, hobbies, interests, interesting things about you. What can you tell us?
So I have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old, and they consume my time. And it's so funny. So we would go to athletic events, and then when we get back home, you know, we have to replicate the athletic event back at home in the basement and things of that nature. So a lot of kids, activities, but when I do get some time, I like to go hiking. I like to go walks with my wife and things of that nature. I like to do active things, jogging, exercising, watch movies. You know, whatever it is, and from a social standpoint, it's really nice to have that balance and being able to get away from athletics and be around your friends and family. So it doesn't really matter what the topic is. It's just making sure that I have that balance of getting away.
Thanks so much for spending a few minutes with us, and congratulations.
Definitely. Thank you.
There he is, the Director of Athletics, Charles Small. We will talk to you again soon on future installments of AD's Insight.